All right, this is a video about what to do when you feel stuck. And sometimes we feel stuck for all sorts of reasons, right? Like we can feel stuck because our beliefs need to change, and that work obviously you can do through the alcohol experiment. Again, it's always free at alcoholexperiment.com. Or sometimes you feel stuck because of your social situation or your situation in life. But sometimes you just feel stuck despite kind of feeling like you know all there is to know. And you're still stuck. You're still not free. You're still stuck either drinking, or you're stuck thinking about drinking, or you're stuck feeling sad for yourself when you're not drinking. You just feel stuck. So this is a little bit of tough love. And this is a concept that I learned in a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, which is a very fun book and good book and very enlightening book. But this is the idea of, at some point, you just need to get honest with yourself. Look yourself straight in the eye. Open up your journal and decide which problems do you want to have. And this is coming with the premise that there's going to be problems. If you choose a life of being alcohol free and freedom from alcohol, there's going to be problems. There's going to be the problems of your friends maybe reacting badly. There's going to be the problems of possibly feeling out of place sometimes when all they have to offer you is water and you feel like, come on, can't you have some seltzer? There's going to be the problems of maybe judging our society really harshly because of how alcohol saturated it is. There's going to be the problem of wishing that your friends would also see the light when they don't. There's so many problems. But if you choose to, decide to keep drinking or think that that's easier, there's going to be a lot of problems there too. There's going to be the problems of being hungover. There's going to be the problems of wondering what you said or did the night before and regretting it. You might have the problem of relationships falling apart because you are turned into somebody who you really frankly don't like and is not pleasant to be around when you drink too much. There might be the problem of blackout and memory loss. There might be the problem of feeling like you missed certain really important things in your life. I tell a story a lot about my son's 3rd birthday and just feeling like I wasn't even there. The reason I am even aware of the kind of cake there was and the fact that we had a piñata and who was at the party is only because there's pictures. And that's a big problem for me. And at some point, you have to just approach whatever it is that's keeping you stuck. And people come to me with all different things that keep them stuck. Some people will be like, you know what, I get it all. I'm totally good, but I'm completely stuck socially because I know that my social scene is going to change and I just don't know if I can handle that. And sometimes you just have to have the tough love and look yourself straight in the eye and say, what problem do you want? Do you want the problem of continuing to drink, knowing that really it only goes one way, that alcohol creates tolerance and tolerance gets more intense and therefore you drink more, and alcohol creates dependence and that gets more intense and therefore you drink more? And do you want the problem of slipping further and further into the proverbial pitcher plant, sinking, watching your whole life kind of fall apart? Or do you want the problem of learning how to navigate your social life? People come to me with another related one, social anxiety. Like, I don't know how to interact with people. I don't know how to be social around other people. It's terrifying to me. I'm crippled by it. Okay, well, do you want the problem of feeling hungover and not remembering what you said? And by the way, not remembering those social events you're so worried about being at? Or do you want the problem of having to learn? And it is a skill. We think it's not a skill interacting with other people. It is a skill. It is a skill. You can learn how to ask good questions, to be present, to look someone in the eye, to be a good listener, to be a good friend, to be a good small talker. These are skills that you can learn. Do you want the problem of putting in the time and effort to learn how to overcome your social anxiety? Or do you want the problem of not even remembering the social situations because you're having a blackout? Which problem do you want? Get really clear on the two choices. Get really clear on the problems if you go this way, and get really clear on the problems if you go this way, and just choose the better set of problems. At the end of the day, there isn't a magic bullet. There isn't a place that you're going to reach that's going to be absent of problems. It's just not going to happen. It is not real. It doesn't exist. You are going to have problems. Let's just rip off the Band-Aid. You're going to have problems. Problems will happen. Which ones are you going to choose for yourself? You can think of this in every area of life. If you're a student and you're just about to go deciding if you should go to college or not, both aspects have problems. Are you going to have the problem of student loans? Or are you going to have the problem of trying to get a job without a college degree? If you are deciding whether to have a baby or not, both aspects have problems. Are you going to have the problem of, paying for a baby, of a newborn waking you up at night? Or are you going to have the problem of possibly regretting not having a baby when you get older? No matter what you're facing, your decision is just to make the best decision with all of your mind, looking yourself straight in the eye, being completely present, and just getting really real with yourself about which problems are you going to choose. I've had people say, you know what, Annie, I just can't stop drinking because if I was to stop drinking, my marriage would fall apart. And that's a big one. That's a big, huge one. Are you going to have the problem of staying in a marriage that is just held together by alcohol? Or are you going to have the problem of navigating life alcohol-free and possibly realizing that your marriage wasn't actually worth being in because it didn't have a foundation aside from the bottle? But by the way, you're not going to know until you choose which problem you want. I mean, there might be a chance that your marriage heals and alcohol was the problem in the marriage. That was so true in my life. I really believed that alcohol was the duct tape that was holding my life together. I believed it made me more present for my kids. I believed it made me more able to do good things at work. I believed it made me more creative. We'd have these creative brainstorming meetings and alcohol was always present. And I really thought that it was the fuel for that creativity. I believed all of these things. And when I really realized that alcohol was not doing me any favors, I look back in hindsight and I was like, oh my gosh, it wasn't the duct tape. It was the sledgehammer. That was really destroying things. I thought it was solving my anxiety. It was making my anxiety worse. At the end of the day, you just have to say, no matter how serious that one thing is, that just means you can't stop drinking because it's this one thing. It's this, I'm not going to be able to sleep and I need my sleep. Okay, which problem do you want to have? Learning how to sleep without alcohol, allowing your body to adjust to sleeping without alcohol, going through whatever possible therapy or work you need to do, buying the lavender pillowcases, whatever it is, doing all that work to learn how to sleep without alcohol. By the way, we weren't created to sleep with alcohol. You're using it as a crutch and it actually robs you of your sleep. But that problem of learning how to sleep without alcohol, or the problem of every other area that alcohol is affecting in your life. The problem of alcohol affecting your job, the problem of alcohol actually robbing you from your sleep, which you can't see right now because you're convinced it's the only thing helping you sleep. The problem of alcohol, getting its hooks in and becoming worse and worse and making you, less present partner or parent or brother or sister or mother or daughter or husband or brother or wife. Which problems do you want to choose? And if you're stuck, sometimes you just need a little nudge to do the honest work and decide which problems are you going to choose.